One of the most powerful secrets of the universe, which has the power to completely transform your money situation forever, is the vibration principle. This amazing change doesn't involve working harder, finding new jobs, or learning complicated business strategies. This principle is about the invisible energy you carry inside you every single day. Most people spend their entire lives chasing money on the outside, never realizing that the real magic happens on the inside first. Think about this for a moment. You probably know someone who seems to attract money effortlessly. They don't work any harder than you do. They might not even be smarter than you. Yet somehow opportunities just fall into their lap. Money flows to them like water flowing downhill. Meanwhile, you might be working twice as hard, trying every money-making method you can find, but the results just aren't coming. The difference isn't in what they do. The difference is in the energy they carry. For example, if you want to attract $10,000 into your life, the truth is that you need to vibrate like someone who already has $10,000 before the money actually shows up in your bank account. You need to feel it, think like it, and carry the energy of it. Otherwise, you'll keep jumping from one money-making scheme to another, trying different jobs, different businesses, different investments, always thinking the problem is somewhere out there in the world. But here's what most people don't understand. The problem isn't with the methods you're using. The problem isn't with the economy, your boss, your education, or your circumstances. The real issue is that you're trying to create wealth from a vibration of lack. You're trying to attract abundance while carrying the energy of scarcity. It's like trying to tune into a radio station that plays beautiful music while your radio is set to static. No matter how hard you try, you'll only hear noise. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine two people walking into the exact same job interview. They have similar qualifications, similar experience, similar backgrounds. But one person walks in carrying the energy of confidence, abundance, and self-worth. They believe they deserve the position. They feel valuable. They vibrate success. The other person walks in worried about rejection, focused on their flaws, vibrating fear and desperation. Which person do you think gets the job? The external circumstances are identical, but the internal vibration makes all the difference. This is happening in every area of your life where money is involved. When you go to negotiate a salary, your vibration speaks louder than your words. When you start a business, your energy determines whether customers are drawn to you or repelled by you. When you invest money, your vibration influences whether you make wise decisions or panic at the wrong moments. Your energy is constantly communicating with the world around you, and the world responds accordingly. The most successful people in history understood this principle, even if they didn't call it vibration. They knew that internal change must happen before external results can follow. They worked on their inner world first, and their outer world transformed as a result. This isn't just spiritual talk. This is practical reality that affects your bank account, your opportunities, and your entire financial future. The first lesson in this principle is if you don't change your energy around money, nothing in your financial life will change, no matter how hard you work or how many strategies you try. This is the basic truth of the vibration principle that most people never learn. They spend years, sometimes decades, trying to fix their money problems from the outside while completely ignoring what's happening on the inside. Think about all the people you know who are constantly stressed about money. They work long hours, they save every penny, they read every financial book, they try every new opportunity that comes their way. Yet year after year, they're still struggling, they're still worried about bills, they're still living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because they're trying to solve an internal problem with external solutions. If you master this vibration principle, Money will flow to you like magic. Opportunities will appear that you never expected. People will want to do business with you. Ideas will come to you that turn into income. Investments will work in your favor. But here's the challenging part that most people don't want to face. This requires you to confront your own money blocks, your limiting beliefs, and the energy patterns you may not want to see or admit you have. Most people prefer to blame their financial situation on external factors because it's easier than looking within. They blame the government, the economy, their upbringing, their education, their age, their location, their competition. While these factors might have some influence, they're not the real reason for financial struggle. The real reason is internal, and until you address the internal, the external will keep reflecting the same old patterns. Let me tell you about the energy patterns that keep people trapped. There's the pattern of unworthiness, where deep down you don't believe you deserve wealth. Every time money comes to you, you find a way to lose it or give it away because having it doesn't match your internal identity. There's the pattern of fear, where you're so afraid of losing money that you make decisions based on fear rather than abundance. This fear energy actually repels the very thing you want to attract. Then there's the pattern of resentment toward wealthy people. If you secretly judge or resent those who have money, you're creating internal resistance to becoming wealthy yourself. Your subconscious mind says, if I become wealthy, I'll become like those people I dislike. So it sabotages your efforts to ensure you stay in alignment with your beliefs about money and wealthy people. There's also the pattern of guilt around having money while others don't. This guilt creates internal conflict that prevents you from fully receiving abundance. You might succeed temporarily, but then you'll unconsciously create situations that bring you back down to a level that feels more comfortable to your guilty conscience. However, this requires you to face these uncomfortable truths about yourself. It requires you to examine beliefs you might have carried since childhood. It requires you to question thoughts and feelings that seem normal to you because you've had them for so long. Most people aren't willing to do this inner work. They want a quick fix, a magic pill, an external solution that doesn't require them to change internally. But if you're really ready for true financial freedom, not just temporary relief, then this inner work is exactly what you need. If you're tired of the same old money struggles showing up in different forms, if you're ready to break the cycle once and for all, then this video contains exactly what you need to hear. The question is, are you ready to look in the mirror and see what's really there? The people who transform their financial lives forever are the ones willing to do what others won't do. They're willing to examine their internal world with honesty. They're willing to change their energy even when it feels uncomfortable or unfamiliar. They understand that external success is just the reflection of internal transformation. Your vibration is like a radio station that broadcasts signals to the universe about money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Most people don't realize they're broadcasting anything at all, but every thought, feeling, and belief you have about money is sending out energy that influences what comes back to you. Your inner energy and your outer wealth are connected in ways that go far deeper than most people understand. Just like a radio station broadcasts on a specific frequency, you're broadcasting on a money frequency right now. If your frequency is tuned to lack, struggle, and financial stress, that's what you'll continue to receive. If your frequency is tuned to abundance, opportunity, and financial flow, that's what will show up in your experience. The universe doesn't judge whether your frequency is good or bad. It simply responds to whatever signal you're sending out. What do I mean when I talk about your money frequency? Let me break this down in simple terms. Every time you think about money, you're either thinking thoughts that make you feel good or thoughts that make you feel bad. When you feel good about money, you're vibrating at a high frequency. When you feel bad about money, you're vibrating at a low frequency. The universe responds to these frequencies by sending you experiences that match them. Let's go back to that $10,000 example I mentioned earlier. If your energy around $10,000 is excitement, gratitude, and confidence that you can earn it, you're broadcasting a high-frequency signal. The universe receives this signal and says, "This person is ready for $10,000. Let me send opportunities, ideas, and circumstances that will help them receive it." But if your energy around $10,000 is worry about how you'll ever get it, frustration that you don't have it, or doubt that you deserve it, you're broadcasting a low-frequency signal. The universe receives this signal and says, "This person is focused on not having $10,000. Let me send them more experiences of not having it." This isn't punishment or reward. This is simply how energy works. Like attracts like. Your frequency attracts experiences that match your frequency. If you're broadcasting the frequency of struggle, you'll attract more struggles. If you're broadcasting the frequency of abundance, you'll attract more abundance. Here's where most people get confused. They think that if they just think positive thoughts about money for a few minutes a day, everything will change. But your vibration isn't just about the thoughts you think when you're consciously trying to be positive. Your vibration is made up of your deepest beliefs, your automatic emotional responses, and the energy you carry even when you're not paying attention. For example, you might spend 10 minutes in the morning affirming that money flows easily to you, but then you spend the rest of the day worrying about bills, complaining about prices, feeling stressed about your financial situation, and telling yourself you can't afford things you want. Which energy do you think is stronger? The 10 minutes of positive thinking or the hours of negative energy? Your money vibration is also influenced by how you talk about money, how you feel when you spend money, how you react when you see wealthy people, and what you believe about money deep in your subconscious mind. If you grew up hearing that money is the root of all evil, that rich people are greedy, or that you have to work hard for every dollar, these beliefs are part of your money vibration, whether you consciously agree with them or not. Let me give you a real-world example of how this works. Imagine you're walking into a store and you see something you want that costs $50. If your immediate internal response is, "I can't afford that," followed by feelings of disappointment or frustration, you're vibrating lack. You're sending a signal to the universe that says, "I don't have enough money and I can't have what I want." But what if your response was different? What if you looked at that $50 item and thought, "That's nice. I choose not to buy it right now, but I could if I wanted to. Money flows to me easily, and I trust that I'll have everything I need and want." Now you're vibrating abundance even though you're not buying the item. You're sending a signal that says, "I have choice, I have power, and I trust in my ability to have what I want." The difference between these two responses might seem small, but over time, these small differences in vibration create massive differences in your financial reality. The person who consistently vibrates lack will continue to experience lack. The person who consistently vibrates abundance will continue to experience abundance. This is why some people seem to have money luck, while others always struggle, even when they have similar circumstances. It's not really luck, it's vibration. The person with good money luck has trained themselves to vibrate abundance, trust, and possibility most of the time. The person who struggles has unknowingly trained themselves to vibrate lack, worry, and limitation most of the time. Your vibration also affects how other people perceive you and interact with you around money. When you vibrate confidence and abundance, people are more likely to offer you opportunities, pay you well, and trust you with financial decisions. When you vibrate insecurity and lack, people unconsciously pick up on this energy and may be less likely to offer you money-making opportunities. Think about the last time someone asked you to lend them money. How did their energy feel to you? Did they seem confident that they could pay you back? Or did they seem desperate and uncertain? Did they vibrate trustworthiness, or did something feel off? You probably made your decision based more on the energy they carried than on their words. This same principle applies to every financial interaction you have. Your vibration influences how others respond to you in money matters. Understanding this connection between your inner energy and your outer wealth is the foundation of financial transformation. Once you realize that your bank account is essentially a reflection of your internal money frequency, you can start to make the changes that will create lasting financial success. Instead of trying to change your external circumstances while keeping the same internal energy, you can change your internal energy and watch your external circumstances transform naturally. The first key of the vibration principle is understanding that your energy around money reflects two fundamental things: how you feel about yourself when it comes to money and how you see money working in the world around you. These two forces are constantly broadcasting signals that determine what kind of financial experiences you attract into your life. Most people have never stopped to examine these two areas, which is why they keep getting the same financial results over and over again. Let's start with how you feel about yourself with money. This goes much deeper than whether you think you're good or bad with numbers. This is about your core identity when it comes to wealth and abundance. Do you see yourself as someone who naturally attracts money, or someone who has to struggle for every dollar? Do you feel worthy of having large amounts of money, or do you have a secret belief that you don't deserve wealth? Here's how to recognize your true identity around money. Pay attention to what goes through your mind when you see someone driving an expensive car or living in a beautiful house. If your first thought is, "I could never afford that," or "people like me don't have things like that," you're revealing your money identity. You're showing yourself that deep down, you don't see yourself as someone who belongs in the world of wealth and abundance. Another way to discover your money identity is to imagine someone offering you $1 million right now, no strings attached. What's your immediate emotional response? Do you feel excited and grateful, like you deserve it and would know exactly what to do with it? Or do you feel uncomfortable, guilty, or worried that something bad would happen if you had that much money? Your gut reaction reveals your true identity around wealth. If you look at yourself and think, "I'm bad with money," your vibration will constantly send that signal out into the world. Every financial decision you make will be influenced by this belief. You'll unconsciously make choices that prove you're bad with money because that's what matches your identity. You might spend impulsively to confirm you can't be trusted with money. You might avoid learning about investments because people like you don't understand that stuff. You might sabotage opportunities because deep down, you don't believe you're capable of handling financial success. The universe responds to this identity by saying, "You're bad with money? Okay, here's more proof of that." You'll attract situations that confirm your belief. You'll make financial mistakes that reinforce your identity. You'll miss opportunities that could change your situation because they don't match who you think you are. This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that keeps you trapped in the same financial patterns. But your money vibration isn't just about your personal identity. It's also about how you see money working in the world around you. This is your worldview about money, and it's just as powerful as your personal identity in shaping your financial reality. Some people see the world as abundant, full of opportunities, and fair in how it distributes wealth. Others see the world as scarce, competitive, and unfair in how money flows. If your worldview is that money is scarce and hard to get, that there's not enough to go around, and that you have to fight and struggle to get your share, this belief will influence every financial opportunity that comes your way. You'll approach money-making activities with stress and desperation, You'll make decisions based on fear of missing out rather than confidence in abundance. You'll compete instead of collaborate, and you'll hold on to money so tightly that you block its natural flow. On the other hand, if your worldview is that money is abundant, that there are endless opportunities to create value and receive compensation, and that the universe wants to support your financial success, you'll approach money matters very differently. You'll make decisions from a place of trust and confidence. You'll be generous because you know there's more where that came from. You'll take calculated risks because you believe in your ability to create wealth. Your worldview about money also includes your beliefs about wealthy people. If you believe that wealthy people are greedy, selfish, or corrupt, you're creating internal resistance to becoming wealthy yourself. Your subconscious mind will protect you from becoming something you judge negatively. It will sabotage your efforts to ensure you don't become like those people you disapprove of. But if you see wealthy people as generous, creative, and valuable contributors to society, you're giving yourself permission to join their ranks. You're telling your subconscious mind that it's safe and good to be wealthy. This removes internal resistance and allows money to flow to you more easily. Here's a powerful way to understand how these two forces work together. Your money identity is like the volume setting on your financial radio, and your worldview is like the station you're tuned into. If you have a strong positive identity, but a negative worldview about money, you'll attract some opportunities, but they'll feel difficult and stressful. If you have a positive worldview, but a weak identity, you'll see opportunities everywhere, but won't feel worthy or capable of taking advantage of them. When both your identity and worldview are aligned with abundance, that's when the magic happens. You feel worthy of wealth and you see the world as ready to support your financial success. This combination creates a powerful vibration that attracts money like a magnet attracts metal. The key to changing these patterns is awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Start paying attention to your automatic thoughts and feelings about money throughout the day. Notice what you think when you pay bills, when you see expensive things, when you think about your financial future. These automatic responses reveal your true vibration much more accurately than any conscious positive thinking. Your vibration is like a loyal friend who always validates what you believe about yourself and money. It will always give you experiences that match your deepest beliefs. If you want different financial results, you need to give your vibration different beliefs to work with. This starts with becoming conscious of what you currently believe and then deliberately choosing new beliefs that serve your financial goals. What you need to understand about money and vibration is that wealth in the physical world takes time to match your new high-frequency energy, and this delay is actually a blessing in disguise, not a frustration to fight against. Most people give up on raising their vibration because they expect immediate results, but understanding this delay factor will help you stay committed to your internal transformation long enough to see real external changes. Think about how things work in your imagination versus how they work in the physical world. In your mind, you can instantly picture yourself with all the money you want. You can see yourself living in your dream house, driving your ideal car, and having complete financial freedom. This mental creation happens immediately, in the blink of an eye. Your imagination doesn't need time to build anything because thoughts are instant and limitless. But the physical world operates by different rules. Money exists in a dense material reality where things take time to form, grow, and manifest. A tree doesn't grow from seed to full size overnight. A building doesn't appear instantly when an architect draws the plans. And wealth doesn't materialize immediately when you start vibrating abundance. This isn't a flaw in how the universe works. This is actually a protective feature that keeps your life stable and prevents chaos. Imagine if every thought and feeling you had about money manifested instantly in your bank account. One moment of fear or doubt would immediately drain your savings. A passing thought about being broke would instantly make you broke. An angry moment thinking, "I hate being rich," would immediately remove all your wealth. The delay between your internal energy and external results gives you time to stabilize your vibration and ensures that only your consistent, dominant energy patterns manifest in your life. This delay factor means you must hold your new abundant vibration long enough for the physical world to catch up with your internal transformation. You can't raise your vibration for a few days or weeks and expect your entire financial situation to change. You need to maintain your new energy consistently until it becomes your natural way of being, and then continue holding it while the external world rearranges itself to match. Here's what typically happens when people first learn about vibration and money. They get excited and start thinking positive thoughts about wealth. They might visualize abundance, say affirmations, and feel genuinely optimistic about their financial future for a few days, or maybe even a few weeks. But when their bank account doesn't immediately reflect this new energy, they get discouraged and go back to their old patterns of worry, doubt, and financial stress. This is like planting a seed and then digging it up every few days to see if it's growing. The constant interruption prevents the natural process from unfolding. When you keep switching back and forth between abundant vibration and scarcity vibration, you're sending mixed signals to the universe. The delay factor means that by the time your positive energy starts to manifest, you've already switched back to negative energy, which then starts its own manifestation process. The people who successfully transform their financial lives understand that changing your money vibration is like training for a marathon, not sprinting 100 meters. It requires consistent practice over time. You need to maintain your abundant energy even when you don't see immediate results. You need to trust the process even when your current circumstances haven't changed yet. But here's the encouraging part about this delay factor. While major changes take time, smaller improvements often start showing up relatively quickly when you maintain a consistent high vibration. You might notice small amounts of unexpected money coming to you. Someone might offer to pay you back money you had forgotten about. You might find money in an old coat pocket or receive a small refund you weren't expecting. These are signs that your new vibration is starting to work, even before the bigger manifestations appear. The key is to pay attention to these small improvements and let them encourage you rather than dismissing them as coincidence. When you acknowledge and appreciate these small manifestations, you're reinforcing your abundant vibration and speeding up the manifestation of larger amounts. When you ignore them or assume they're just luck, you're weakening your vibration and slowing down the process. Another important aspect of the delay factor is that it allows you to grow into your new financial reality gradually. If someone who has never had more than $1,000 in their bank account suddenly received $1 million, they might not have the internal capacity to handle it wisely. The delay gives you time to develop the mindset, skills, and wisdom that match your desired level of wealth. During this delay period, the universe is often preparing you for your financial breakthrough in ways you might not recognize. You might meet people who will later become important business connections. You might learn skills that will later help you manage money better. You might go through experiences that strengthen your confidence and prepare you for greater financial responsibility. What looks like nothing happening on the surface might actually be intensive preparation happening behind the scenes. The delay factor also explains why some people seem to become wealthy overnight, while others take years to build wealth. The people who seem to have overnight success usually spent years developing their internal vibration before the external results appeared. When their breakthrough finally came, it looked sudden to outside observers, but it was actually the culmination of consistent internal work over time. This is why you must remain faithful to your new abundant identity and worldview even when your bank account doesn't reflect it yet. You must continue thinking, feeling, and acting like the wealthy person you're becoming, not like the financially struggling person you used to be. Every day that you maintain this high vibration is moving you closer to your financial breakthrough, even when you can't see the progress with your physical eyes. The most successful people understand that external results lag behind internal changes. They use this delay period to strengthen their vibration rather than letting it weaken their resolve. They know that consistency over time creates compound results, and they're willing to invest in their internal transformation even before they see external validation. Here's something most people completely miss about vibration and money. Your energy doesn't just broadcast that you're feeling good or bad about your financial situation. Your vibration actually transmits the specific content of your thoughts and feelings, and the universe responds to that exact content by giving you more of whatever you're focused on, whether you want it or not. Let me explain what I mean by this because it's absolutely crucial to understand if you want to change your financial reality. Most people think that as long as they're not being negative about money, they're fine. But your vibration is much more precise than that. It's like a detailed message that describes exactly what you're thinking about most often. If you're constantly thinking, "I hate paying these expensive bills," your vibration doesn't just broadcast, "I'm upset about money." It specifically broadcasts expensive bills, and guess what you get more of? Expensive bills. If you keep saying, "I hate my low-paying job," your vibration doesn't just send out general negativity about work. It specifically transmits low-paying job, and the universe responds by giving you more experiences that confirm you have a low-paying job. You might get passed over for raises, miss out on promotions, or find that every new job you look at pays about the same amount. Your specific focus on low paying is what gets amplified in your experience. This is why complaining about your financial situation actually makes it worse, even if complaining feels good in the moment. When you complain about not having enough money to pay rent, you're not just expressing frustration. You're specifically broadcasting not enough money for rent, and your vibration works to create more situations where you don't have enough money for rent. When you complain about how expensive everything is, you're broadcasting everything is expensive, and you'll continue to encounter expensive prices everywhere you go. The same principle works with positive focus, which is why it's so powerful when you understand how to use it correctly. If you consistently think and talk about money flowing easily to me, your vibration broadcasts money flowing easily, and the universe starts arranging circumstances where money does flow easily to you. If you focus on opportunities appearing everywhere, your vibration transmits opportunities everywhere, and you'll start noticing and attracting more opportunities. But here's where most people get tripped up. They try to think positively about money they don't have while still spending most of their mental energy focused on what they lack. They might spend 5 minutes visualizing abundance, but then spend hours thinking about their financial problems. The longer, more intense focus wins. If you're thinking about your money problems for several hours a day, but only thinking about abundance for a few minutes, your vibration is still primarily broadcasting lack and problems. This is the fundamental difference between what I call a scarcity vibration and an abundance vibration. It's not just about positive versus negative thinking. It's about where you consistently place your attention. A scarcity vibration constantly focuses on what's missing, what's wrong, what you can't afford, and what you don't have. An abundance vibration consistently focuses on what's possible, what's working, what you can create, and what you already have. Let me give you some examples of how this works in daily life. When you go shopping and see something you want but don't buy, what goes through your mind? If you think I can't afford that, you're broadcasting can't afford, and your vibration works to create more situations where you can't afford things you want. But if you think I choose not to buy that right now because I'm focusing my money on other priorities, you're broadcasting choice and control, which creates more experiences of having choices and control over your money. When you pay your bills, what's your internal dialogue? If you think, there goes all my money again, you're broadcasting money leaving you, and your vibration creates more experiences of money leaving you. But if you think, I'm grateful I have the money to pay for these services that improve my life, you're broadcasting gratitude and having money for what you need, which creates more experiences of having money for what you need. When you see wealthy people or expensive things, what's your automatic response? If you think, I'll never be able to afford anything like that, you're broadcasting never be able to afford, and your vibration ensures you continue to not be able to afford those things. But if you think, I love seeing examples of abundance in the world, and I'm creating that level of wealth in my own life, you're broadcasting abundance and creation, which helps attract those experiences to you. The key to applying this principle in your life is becoming aware of your habitual thoughts about money throughout the day, and then consciously redirecting your focus toward what you want to experience more of. Instead of thinking about what you can't afford, think about what you can afford, even if it's something small. Instead of focusing on bills as money leaving you, focus on bills as evidence that you have money and that companies trust you to pay them. This doesn't mean you ignore financial reality or pretend you have money you don't have. It means you choose to focus on the aspects of your financial situation that support the vibration you want to maintain. There's always something you can appreciate about your money situation, even if it's just that you have enough for basic needs or that you're learning valuable lessons about managing money. Start paying attention to what you're actually broadcasting about money through your consistent thoughts and feelings. Are you broadcasting lack, struggle, and limitation? Or are you broadcasting abundance, flow, and possibility? Remember, your vibration doesn't just affect your mood. It's actively creating your financial reality by attracting experiences that match whatever you're consistently focused on. The people who transform their financial lives learn to discipline their focus. They catch themselves when they start thinking thoughts that broadcast lack, and they consciously redirect their attention to thoughts that broadcast abundance. This isn't about forced positive thinking or denial of current circumstances. This is about strategically choosing what to amplify in your experience by choosing what to focus on with your mental and emotional energy. When you understand that your vibration broadcasts the specific content of your focus, you realize that changing your financial reality is really about changing your mental habits. Every thought you think about money is either moving you closer to wealth or further away from it. Every feeling you have about your financial situation is either strengthening your abundant vibration or reinforcing patterns of lack. The choice of what to broadcast is entirely yours, and that choice determines your financial future. Most people are caught in a destructive cycle when it comes to money, and they don't even realize it's happening. They look at their current financial situation, feel bad about it, then vibrate that negative energy, which creates more of the same financial problems. This keeps them trapped in an endless loop of financial struggle, and the harder they try to escape using external methods, the more stuck they become. But when you understand how to reverse this cycle, you become a true creator of wealth instead of just reacting to whatever shows up in your bank account. Let me explain exactly how this trap works so you can recognize it in your own life. The normal cycle that keeps people broke goes like this. First, they observe their current financial reality. They look at their bank account, their bills, their income, and their expenses. Then, based on what they see, they form thoughts and feelings about money. If what they see looks bad, they feel bad. If they're behind on bills, they feel stressed. If their income is low, they feel frustrated. These thoughts and feelings create their vibration, which then attracts more of the same financial circumstances. For example, let's say someone looks at their bank account and sees they only have $200 left before payday. Their immediate thought might be, "I'm always broke," or "I never have enough money." This thought creates feelings of anxiety, frustration, and fear. These feelings become their vibration around money. The universe receives this vibration and responds by creating more situations where they feel broke, anxious, and like they never have enough money. Then what happens? They look at their financial situation again, see that it's still the same or maybe even worse, and the cycle repeats itself. They observe the lack, feel bad about it, vibrate scarcity, attract more lack, then observe that lack again. This becomes an addictive pattern that most people find themselves trapped in without understanding why their financial situation never really improves no matter what they try. This is why so many people can work harder, try new business strategies, switch jobs, or even start new businesses, but still end up with the same financial results. The external strategies might work temporarily and get them excited for a while, but eventually they return to the same patterns because there's no fundamental change happening in their internal vibration. They're still operating from the same energy that created their original financial problems. But here's the secret that successful people understand. If you want to become a true creator of your financial reality, instead of just reacting to whatever circumstances appear, you need to completely reverse this cycle. Instead of starting with observation of your current reality, you start with the vibration you want to create. You begin with the energy of the wealthy person you're becoming, regardless of what your bank account currently shows. This reverse cycle works like this. First, you consciously choose the vibration you want to maintain. You decide to vibrate abundance, confidence, and financial success, even before you see evidence of it in your external world. You think thoughts and feel feelings that match the wealthy identity you're creating. This vibration then begins to attract circumstances that match this new energy. When small positive changes start appearing, instead of going back to observing all your problems, you focus only on confirming these improvements. Let me give you a practical example of how this works. Instead of looking at your bank account first thing in the morning and letting that determine your mood and energy for the day, you start your day by consciously choosing to vibrate abundance. You might think, "Money flows to me easily and frequently," or "I am grateful for all the wealth that's coming into my life." You feel appreciation for the money you do have, even if it's not much yet. You visualize yourself as someone who naturally attracts financial opportunities. Then, as you go through your day with this abundant vibration, you start noticing things you might have missed before. Maybe someone mentions a money-making opportunity. Maybe you remember money someone owes you. Maybe you find a way to save money on something you need to buy. These are your vibrations starting to work, creating small improvements in your financial reality. Here's the crucial part that most people get wrong. When these small improvements happen, instead of dismissing them as coincidence or going back to focusing on all the money problems you still have, you use them as confirmation that your new vibration is working. You focus on these positive changes, feel grateful for them, and use them to strengthen your abundant energy even more. So the cycle becomes, choose abundant vibration first, then when positive changes appear, confirm and appreciate them, which strengthens your vibration even more, which attracts bigger positive changes, which you confirm and appreciate, and so on. This creates an upward spiral of improvement instead of the downward spiral that most people are trapped in. The key to making this work is understanding that what you see around you right now in your financial life is simply the result of decisions and vibrations you had in the past. It's not a prediction of your future unless you keep the same energy patterns. If you want to create a different financial future, you need to start vibrating differently today, regardless of what your current circumstances look like. This requires tremendous faith and commitment because you're essentially turning your back on current reality in order to create a new reality. You're choosing to focus on what you want to create instead of what currently exists. This goes against how most people think, which is why most people stay stuck in the same financial patterns their entire lives. But when you really commit to this reversed cycle, amazing things start happening. You begin to see opportunities everywhere. People start offering you ways to make money. Ideas come to you that turn into income. Your investments start performing better. You make smarter financial decisions because you're operating from abundance instead of fear. What seemed impossible before becomes not just possible, but inevitable. The most important thing to remember is that you have to keep doing this cycle consistently, especially in the beginning when you don't see much evidence yet. The more you practice starting with vibration instead of observation, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, maintaining an abundant vibration becomes your default way of being, and creating wealth becomes as natural as breathing. Most people give up during the hardest part, which is the beginning when you're vibrating abundance, but your external reality hasn't caught up yet. This is exactly when you need to stay most committed to the process. The people who break through to real financial freedom are the ones who maintain their abundant vibration even when their bank account doesn't reflect it yet. They understand that external reality is always the last thing to change, not the first. This vibration principle isn't just theory for me. This is something I discovered through my own financial struggles and then applied in my own life with results that completely amazed me. When I first heard about vibration and money, I honestly thought it sounded ridiculous. I was someone who believed that hard work and smart strategies were the only things that mattered for financial success. The idea that my internal energy could affect my bank account seemed like wishful thinking at best. At that time in my life, I was working harder than I had ever worked, trying every money-making method I could find, reading every financial book, and following every piece of advice from successful people. But despite all this effort, I kept ending up in the same financial situation. I would make some progress, get excited about my future, but then something would happen that would set me back to where I started. It was incredibly frustrating because I knew I was capable of more, but I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. I was stuck in that cycle I described earlier. I would look at my financial situation, feel discouraged, work harder to try to fix it, see temporary improvement, then watch it fall apart again. I was constantly stressed about money, always worried about the future, and starting to believe that maybe financial freedom just wasn't meant for people like me. I had all the external strategies, but I was missing the internal foundation that makes those strategies actually work. When someone first explained vibration and money to me, my immediate reaction was skepticism. It sounded too simple, too good to be true. How could just changing my thoughts and feelings about money actually change my bank account? I had tried positive thinking before and it hadn't worked. I thought this was just another version of the same ineffective approach, but I was desperate enough to try anything, so I decided to give it a real chance. The first thing I had to do was become honest about my actual vibration around money. I had to pay attention to what I was really thinking and feeling about my financial situation throughout the day, not just when I was consciously trying to be positive. What I discovered shocked me. Even though I thought I had a good attitude about money, I realized I was spending most of my mental energy focused on what I didn't have, what wasn't working, and what I was worried about financially. I was constantly thinking thoughts like, I hope this works, or I can't afford to fail again, or why is this taking so long? These thoughts seemed harmless, but I realized they were all broadcasting lack, doubt, and limitation. I was trying to create abundance while vibrating scarcity, which explained why my efforts weren't producing lasting results. So I started the hardest part of this whole process, which was changing my habitual thoughts and feelings about money. Every time I caught myself thinking about what I didn't have, I would redirect my attention to what I wanted to create or what I was grateful for. When I felt worried about money, I would consciously choose to feel confident about my ability to attract wealth. When I saw my bank account balance and felt discouraged, I would remind myself that this was just reflecting my past vibration, not determining my future reality. This internal work was much harder than any external strategy I had ever tried. It required constant awareness and conscious choice. There were days when I felt like I was fighting against my own mind because the old patterns of thinking were so automatic. But I kept at it because I was committed to seeing if this approach could really work. The first changes I noticed were small but unmistakable. I started receiving unexpected money in small amounts. Someone paid back money I had forgotten they owed me. I found a $20 bill in an old jacket. I received a refund I wasn't expecting. None of these were life-changing amounts, but they were happening more frequently than before. Instead of dismissing them as coincidence, I chose to see them as evidence that my new vibration was starting to work. As I continued practicing this approach, the improvements became bigger and more frequent. I started noticing opportunities I had been blind to before. People began offering me ways to make money that I wouldn't have recognized as opportunities in my old mindset. I found myself making better financial decisions because I was operating from confidence instead of fear. Ideas came to me that turned into additional income streams. But the most amazing part was how different I felt about money on a daily basis. Instead of constantly worrying about my financial future, I felt excited about the possibilities. Instead of feeling stressed when I had to spend money, I felt grateful that I had money to spend. Instead of feeling jealous when I saw wealthy people, I felt inspired because I knew I was creating that for myself too. The transformation wasn't instant, and it wasn't always smooth. There were times when I doubted the process and wanted to go back to my old ways of trying to force external changes. But every time I stayed committed to the internal work, my external reality would improve in ways that reinforced my faith in this approach. Within a year of consistently applying these vibration principles, my financial situation had completely transformed. Not only did I have more money, but my entire relationship with money had changed. I went from someone who was constantly stressed about finances to someone who felt confident and excited about my financial future. Money started flowing to me in ways I had never experienced before, and opportunities appeared that I couldn't have imagined in my old mindset. The most important lesson I learned from this experience is that external strategies for making money only work consistently when you have the right internal vibration to support them. You can have the best business plan, the smartest investment strategy, or the most promising opportunity, but if your vibration is broadcasting lack and limitation, those external tools won't produce lasting results. Now, I know that anyone can transform their financial reality using these same principles. It's not about being special or lucky or having advantages that others don't have. It's about understanding how vibration works and being willing to do the internal work necessary to change your energy around money. The external results will follow naturally when you get the internal foundation right. As we explore the depths of vibration and money, we discover a power inside ourselves that most people never learn to access. What we see in our bank accounts, our job situations, and our financial opportunities is actually an echo of our internal energy, our beliefs about ourselves, and how we see money working in the world. But the real secret to transformation isn't just understanding this connection. The secret is learning to shape our financial destiny by starting with the vibration of who we want to become, rather than just reacting to whatever circumstances currently appear in our lives. When you truly understand this principle, you realize that your external financial situation is never permanent unless you keep the same internal energy that created it. Every dollar in your bank account, every bill you need to pay, every opportunity you receive or miss is simply a reflection of vibration patterns you've been carrying, often without even realizing it. This means that changing your financial reality is always possible because you always have the power to change your internal energy. Think about the incredible implications of this truth. You are not limited by your current circumstances, your background, your education, or your past financial mistakes. You are not stuck with whatever financial situation you were born into or whatever you've experienced up to this point. Your financial future is not determined by the economy, your age, your location, or any external factor. Your financial future is determined by the vibration you choose to maintain consistently over time. This is both empowering and challenging because it means you have complete responsibility for your financial reality. You can't blame your situation on outside forces and expect it to change, but you also can't be stopped by outside forces when you understand how to work with your internal energy. The same power that has been creating your current financial situation can be redirected to create whatever financial reality you desire. As we form this new understanding of ourselves as vibrational beings who attract experiences that match our energy, the mirror of reality begins to respond with small changes first, then bigger transformations over time. Every day that you maintain an abundant vibration instead of a scarcity vibration is moving you closer to financial breakthrough. Every moment that you choose thoughts of possibility instead of limitation is reshaping your financial future. But here's what makes this approach so powerful. The changes happen naturally and feel aligned with who you're becoming rather than forced or artificial. When you're vibrating abundance consistently, making money feels easier because you're operating from your natural state rather than fighting against internal resistance. Opportunities appear because you're energetically ready for them. Good financial decisions become automatic because they match your abundant identity. Just like an alchemist who understands how to transform basic metals into gold, you can learn to transform your financial reality by mastering the internal processes that create external results. The alchemist doesn't fight against the properties of metal or wish the metal was different. The alchemist understands the laws that govern transformation and works with those laws to create the desired outcome. Similarly, you don't need to fight against your current financial circumstances or wish they were different. You need to understand the laws of vibration and manifestation, then work with those laws to create the financial transformation you desire. When you align your internal energy with your financial goals and maintain that alignment consistently, external changes become inevitable rather than hopeful. This process transforms not just your bank account, but your entire relationship with money and abundance. You stop seeing money as something outside yourself that you have to chase, capture, or earn through struggle. You start seeing money as energy that flows naturally to you when you're vibrating at the right frequency. You stop feeling anxious about your financial future and start feeling excited about the wealth you're creating. The journey through understanding vibration and money is ultimately a journey of discovering who you really are beneath all the limiting beliefs and scarcity patterns you may have inherited or developed over time. When you peel away the layers of financial fear, doubt, and limitation, You find someone who is naturally abundant, naturally creative, and naturally capable of attracting wealth. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. This is about remembering who you've always been underneath the programming that told you money was hard to get, that you weren't worthy of wealth, or that financial success required struggle and sacrifice. Your natural state is abundance because you are connected to an abundant universe that wants to support your highest good. Every person who has ever achieved lasting financial success has tapped into this inner power, whether they understood it in terms of vibration or not. They developed an internal confidence, an abundant identity, and a worldview that supported wealth creation. They learned to maintain this internal state consistently, regardless of temporary external circumstances. They understood that external results would eventually match internal energy when that energy was maintained long enough. You have access to this same inner power right now. You don't need to wait for your circumstances to change before you can start vibrating abundance. You don't need permission from anyone else to begin seeing yourself as someone who naturally attracts wealth. You don't need external validation to start believing in your ability to create financial freedom. The power to transform your financial reality exists within you right now, waiting for you to recognize it and begin using it consistently. Your transformation into someone who naturally attracts wealth begins the moment you decide to take control of your vibration instead of letting your circumstances control your energy. Everything you've learned in this video gives you the tools to completely change your financial reality, but the knowledge is only powerful when you actually apply it in your daily life. The question isn't whether these principles work. The question is whether you're ready to commit to doing the internal work necessary to see external changes. I hope this understanding of vibration and money will be the turning point that changes everything for you financially. You now know that your bank account is simply reflecting your internal energy patterns. You understand that changing your financial situation starts with changing your vibration, not with finding new external strategies. You've learned that the universe responds to whatever energy you consistently broadcast, giving you more of whatever you focus on most often. Thank you for taking this journey with me and being open to a different way of thinking about money and success. If this video has opened your mind to new possibilities for your financial future, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel so you can continue learning about the spiritual principles that create real transformation in every area of life. Share this video with others who are ready to break free from financial struggle and step into their power as conscious creators of wealth. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, insights, and experiences with raising your vibration around money. I read every comment, and I'm genuinely interested in hearing about your journey toward financial freedom. Remember, every moment is a new opportunity to choose abundance over scarcity, possibility over limitation, and confidence over fear. Your financial future is being created right now through the vibration you're maintaining today. Choose to vibrate wealth and watch as your external world transforms to match your internal transformation. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll continue exploring the spiritual laws that govern success and abundance. The path to financial freedom isn't found in any external strategy or opportunity. It's found in the vibration you carry within yourself every day. When you understand that your internal energy creates your external reality, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become the conscious creator of your wealth. Your bank account tomorrow will reflect the vibration you choose to maintain today. Make it count.